On April 17th in 2010 at Jersey Village High School, it was a hot spring day for everyone else, but for me it was a very special day. I had to make sure I looked my best because this was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was my signing day, and that is when I signed to Oklahoma Panhandle State University for a volleyball scholarship. This day was a meaningful learning experience, and it was life-changing. It was the best day of my life because this is the day an athlete dreams of. The day was all about my accomplishments, how I got to play college volleyball, and the feeling of achievement that I had. I will never forget how that day was. Everything about my accomplishments in my volleyball career. I was a senior in high school and I was 17 years old. The signing was in our purple and gold gym, and it was decorated with balloons, and the Fighting Falcon had been brought out for me to walk through one last time. It was during 7th period, and I was ready to sign my letter of intent. All my family, friends, teammates, and coaches were there to watch me sign my letter of intent. My friends and family had made this day very special. They all had on OPSU shirts and signs and made a cake for me to congratulate me. When I walked in, everyone was already in there. I had a pink and white OPSU shirt on, and they called me behind the table. My coach started saying the signing with my high school stats and stats from the past OPSU volleyball. I finally realized what this day was about. I was signing to play college volleyball. While I was signing, my coach gave a speech about me and my accomplishments that I had made, such as first team all-district, offense player of the year, and co-captain. Then it was my turn to make a speech about my career of volleyball. My speech was about the challenge that I had to take and if I was ready for the next level of volleyball. Although how my mom inspired me from 2nd grade to be the best player that I could be. She taught me how the game worked and the most important parts of the game. She was my coach until 2nd grade, until 8th grade, until she couldn't coach me anymore. Having a family full of college athletes made this a little bit harder to achieve my goal. Ever since 2nd grade, when I started volleyball, my own signing day has always been my dream. Every athlete's goal is to make it in college and get a scholarship, and I had just achieved that. Seeing everyone from Jersey Village High School when I was a freshman, sophomore, and junior sign gave me the push to sign to a college myself and have my own signing day. After the speeches were over, I realized that I had accomplished my lifelong dream. Not only was I proud I made it, but my parents were as well. My mom was crying and my dad had the biggest smile on his face that you could not take off. No one could bring me down. There is nothing like achieving a lifelong goal. After I signed the letter of intent, my mom signed it too, and it was finally time to celebrate my achievements. The stress was over. No more emailing coaches, sending videotapes, or trying to find the right college. The 14 years of training had paid off in finding the right sport that meant so much to me. Throughout my years of volleyball, it was not just a sport. It also taught me life lessons to respect teamwork and work ethic and how important it was to me. To play volleyball, you had to pass your classes. While it pushed me to be the best child I could be. Without volleyball and signing to play in college, I would not be the person I am today. After all of my hard work I've put into volleyball with private lessons, extra Sunday practices, conditioning, and always giving 110%, signing for volleyball made everything I've ever done worth it. My goal coming true made me realize that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. But on the other side of the game, I decided I want to be a coach. One quote that I believe sports is by Tom Hanks in the movie A League of Their Own. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard makes it great. This made me realize if you work hard, you can accomplish anything. And when you cannot make the last sprint because you're so tired and exhausted, you can do it. A quote from one of my coaches told me by Joe Namath is, "You learn you can do best even when it's hard. Even when you're tired and hurting a little bit, it feels good to show some courage." I cannot wait to change the lives of kids like my coaches have changed mine. The whole entire week after I signed, no one could bring me down. I have never felt so accomplished. Volleyball has been my number one priority in my life, and I have always put volleyball over everything. To know all of my hard work, extra hours I have put in there worth it. I still have four more years left to play, and that's a really good feeling. It's the best day of my life because volleyball has always been my passion. And when I signed, the day was all about my accomplishments and how I had finally achieved my goal of 14 years and that I have made my parents proud. Now time for question and answer.
How did the recruiting process go?
The recruiting process was very difficult. I had signed up for a recruiting website called Be Recruited, and I also had the help of my high school volleyball coach and my club volleyball coach.
What made you choose OPSU?
I had choose OPSU because at the time I had wanted to get out of Texas, and I had never really been a big school type of girl, and it was a D2 in a small part of Oklahoma, so I figured that's the perfect fit for me.
What other schools were you considering?
Another one school that I was considering was the University of Texas at Tyler because it had a really good program for people from my club that have already been there, and I thought that would have been a perfect fit for me.